Hello students, so here are the questions I asked you to try from exercise 9C. Let's go. Right, the first one, we have some information here. 2 points L and N are 160 meters apart. M is somewhere in the middle. So the first thing I want to do is I want to sketch, right? Because having a diagram to visually see how it works actually allow us to see very clearly and to avoid a careless mistake. No? So we have a good look. This is a situation. We have a point L here, we have point M here, right, and a point N here. Okay, and they are joined together. So what happened? The object traveled from L to M at an average speed of 10 meters per second. So I'm going to write it down, 10 meters per second. Then in 6 seconds. So the time taken is 6 seconds. Same thing, I write it down. So these are the information that was given, right? Then from the second part of the journey from M to N, we know the speed. The speed is given as 25 meters per second. And we don't have the rest of the information. So this additional information that I have on my diagrams actually came after I did some calculations. So let's fill them up. Let's get all the information before we answer the question, right? So first thing, we have the speed and the time taken from L to M. So naturally, we can find the distance here, right? So the distance of LM will be the average speed multiplied by the time taken, which gives us 60 meters. So I'm going to write it down. Just write it down on the diagram. There's no harm doing that. It gives us a lot of clarity. So 60 meters here. So from the distance, from the point L to the point M, I have all the necessary information already. Let's move on to M to N, right? M to N, first I can get the distance now because we know that the total length here is 160. So if L to M is 60, then M to N must be 100, right? Just take 160 minus 60, we have 100 meters. So we have the distance. Now from M to N, we have the distance, we have the average speed, we can find the time taken. So the time taken from M to N will be the distance of M to N divided by the average speed of M to N. That gives us 4 seconds, right? So now we have all the information that we need from L to M and from M to N. We can answer the question. The question wants us to find the average speed for the entire journey. So we must always remember that the average speed is calculated in this manner. Is the total distance divided by the total time taken. So the total distance we already know is 160 meters. Now what we need is the total time taken. So the total time taken now is 6 seconds plus 4 seconds, which gives us 10 seconds. Therefore, the average speed will be 160 meters divided by 10 seconds, 16 meters per second. Right, question 11. A car travels the first 50 kilometers of its journey at an average speed of 25 meters per second. So same thing, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch the diagram, right? The diagram will help. And then let's fill the information we have. So we know that the first part of the journey, 50 kilometers, and the speed for this part of the journey is 25 meters per second. So from here, okay, later we can quickly calculate the time taken by taking 50 kilometers divided by 25 meters per second. But take note, down here is kilometer, it's meters per second. So we need to actually do some units conversion. So don't forget about that. Then after that, for the next part of the journey, 120 kilometers, right? And the speed is 80 kilometers per hour. So similarly, we know that the time taken will just be 120 kilometers divided by 80 kilometers per hour. This time around, the units matches up, so it's fine. We get 3/2 hours for the second part of the journey. And the third part of the journey, do we know the time? We don't know, but we know that the speed is going to be 90 kilometers per hour. We know that the time taken is 35 minutes. So 35 minutes, because we want the units to match up, 35 minutes is 35 over 60 hours, right? So with this time taken and this speed, if we multiply together, 35 over 60 times 90, we actually get the distance, 52.5 kilometers. So using the diagram, we can see very clearly what's going on already, but of course you still need to present your answers, right? So the time taken for the first part of the journey, as mentioned, we can do what we need to do. First thing we do is to convert the units, right? So in this case, I converted the meters per seconds to kilometers per hour. Once we have that, we have the time in hours as 5/9 hours. Then for the second part of the journey, what the information we are lacking is actually the time taken. So the time taken is 120 kilometers divided by 80 kilometers per hour, which is 3/2 hours. And then for the third part of the journey, the information that is missing is actually the distance. So we take 90 kilometers per hour times 35 minutes. Of course, adjust the units to match up. So it's 35 over 60 hours. That gives us 52.5 kilometers. So once we have all this information, we can answer the question. The question asks for the average speed of the entire journey. Remember, average speed is the total distance divided by the total time. So in the numerator, I add up all my 3 distances. In the denominator, I add up all my 3 time taken, right? So we work it out. Okay, the average speed is actually 84.3 kilometer per hour. So those are the 2 questions I asked you to try. I hope you've been successful. Have a nice day.